Right.
All right. So thank you for coming. For those who don't know, Alina and I work together, and just a quick background. Tell us a bit about yourself. You just recently came to Canada. I know you just got your permanent resident as well. So congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So where are you from? For starters.
Yeah. So I came from Belarus. It's Eastern Europe. Actually, not too many people know where is that.
People associate that with Russia a lot. I heard.
So, some people sometimes tell that it's in Australia. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Many times.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's not culturally appropriate either, right?
Not really.
Yeah, you can't call a Russian a Belarus, they're from Belarus or anything. You can't say
that.
Yeah,
some people, take it very seriously and personal. Personally, I don't really care.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I'm very chill, whatever. Russia, I'm sure Russia, whatever is easier for people. But,
what's the language you speak then?
My family speaks Russian language mostly.
Mm-hmm.
However, my grandmother, she used half Belarusian, half Russian.
Okay.
Yeah, very mixed languages. Some people, we have a lot of youngsters right now that specifically use just Belarusian language to kind of preserve the language.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came to Canada 2.5, almost 3 years actually. It's gonna be 3 years in September. Sure. So it's been a while. And my journey started when I went for the first time actually to the States. I went there work and travel student. That is very famous program when the students are going to work to the States. Okay. And that was the first time when I saw a different culture, different life. Tried pizza. Didn't have really pizza or McDonald's or any fast food.
Did that capture you? Did you how was that experience though? Just to take it away from
actually when I came back 10 kilos more, it didn't capture me really well.
Oh, but you enjoyed it though.
I didn't. I enjoyed more the lifestyle and the opportunities, big city, a fast-paced life, and then, all this cool devices and everything cool that they had, because we definitely we're not there. It's and then their mindset, I don't know, it's their friendliness, because and for now it just something that captured me. I wanted that life.
Okay.
So that was interesting. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to live in a big city. Mm-hmm. And I was going back and forth for 4 years.
Okay.
And but the jobs we had as a students, they weren't the best. We were would work as a housekeeper, or or a server or a busser. Okay. So it wasn't that was the terms and conditions, let's call that, of their work and travel. There were the list of the job that you could have. But as a student, when I was going my 3rd and 4th year, I found already met some people. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get a better job. Okay. So my official job offer was as a server. Okay. And I still needed to work there at least I think 30 hours. And then
while you were a student?
It was during the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going back to university. Okay. So actually 1 month later, I was all the time late for my program.
Oh, because of work?
Because I wanted to stay there more, the summer is just only 3 months, and I wanted to be there for 4 months. Because it was also one more how I could earn money.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to travel, I had big ambitions, and my family, they're not they're middle class, I would say. But I wanted to go to Europe, I wanted to go to Asia, so my parents wouldn't be able to pay off all my trips. So, and I wanted to travel in the States, so I worked 7 days, and I didn't have any days off. Oh my God. I worked from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and I had
8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Yes. And then I had only for 4 months, I would have maybe 4 days off max, because they forced me to do that.
Oh my God.
I was a crazy person.
How did you how did you even rest?
I don't know. I was dead. And
but you were energized because you were excited for the opportunity.
Exactly.
That's what kept you going.
Exactly. I was like, okay, I'll work, and then I buy a new phone, and I buy a lot of clothes to my parents, and then I'll go to Grand Canyon. Because after like 3 months or like 3.5 months of extensive work, I would go like for a couple of weeks to travel in the States.
Okay.
So I traveled a lot there actually. Like I think I've seen maybe half of the States.
Oh,
so
shoot.
far.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. One thing that you pointed out is like that your family is like considered in like the middle class in Belarus.
Yeah.
So unlike very typical like immigrant stories in Canada that I see at the very least is that a lot of people come in, you know, like for example from China or from India. A lot of people are coming here like quite privileged. That's not the case. What was for you? Yeah. So like how did your family feel about it? About you like leaving home or anything? Like would you like if you were in the middle class, like could you have just lived a little bit more comfortably, or was it like you know you have to have a change? Like if you were staying in Belarus, like nothing would have changed. Like you wouldn't have a good job or anything. Like what was it like?
So yeah, I was graduating from university, and actually my parents like the education is not expensive there. So it wasn't like, you know, hard to get a good education. I started at the best university, at the best faculty. Okay, it was international relationships, and it was really hard to get there. You needed to get like really high marks to even like be able to get there. And actually like people who were studying there, they were like very privileged most of the time. Yeah, but I think, and my parents like wasn't really happy about this idea. At the beginning, I thought that my mom, like, she didn't believe me. She was like, oh, you just say, and like, you know, you won't go there, like, and then like I started to like prepare all the paperwork and like really talk about that. And she's like, are you really going? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going. And she was like, no, you're not, like, you don't have this, and like, where do you live, and like, who will be paying all this? So what I've done, as I mentioned, work and travel, it was on purpose. So my last year of when I graduated from university, I was able to get a visa. It's very like also unusual to go to the States, because normally you won't get if you're like a last year student. They just like refuse your visa. Oh,
like why is that? Like I actually don't know why. Like why is that?
Yeah, because like they, you know, you're potential like kind of immigrant to the States, because you graduated. So you technically have less connection with your motherland. Oh, okay. That's one of their refusal reasons. Because if they think that you're not married, you graduated, so you potentially can stay there. So they will refuse your visa. Oh. Yeah, and it's actually 80% of refusals.
Oh shoot.
So that's why I was really lucky that they they accepted my visa, they approved it, and I went as a 5-year graduated student already to the States to earn some money to go to Canada.
Wow.
So I was able to earn, I'll tell you, I think $13,000 US for 2.5 months.
Oh wow.
So
in 2 months. Oh shoot, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, but
then you work like crazy though.
Exactly. Yeah. I had 3 jobs.
Oh my god.
I had 3 jobs, but I had a goal again, and when I earned these like amount of money, I came back home. And that's what's interesting. I came back home September 3rd. I was invited to the wedding of my friends. And then in 2 days, I left to Canada. So I stayed at home like 3 days. I already came from another continent.
Wow.
Stayed for a couple days, came back to Canada. But this, like, you know, that money that I earned was a good start for me. I was able to pay for my tuition fee. And then I was able to pay for like staying... I think I paid 2 months of staying in the homestay.
In the what?
Homestay. Have heard of it?
No, what's that?
So homestay, that's when you don't have wealthy parents. You know, that's like you're living with the family.
Okay.
So you're like renting a room. Could be like I was super lucky because it wasn't like a real family. It was just one woman. She's like single, don't have like kids. And then she had like a big house, so she was bored. She wants someone, you know, to live with her. So she was my family. But sometimes people live with like crazy Filipinian family and they don't feed them. So the part of that, you're paying for staying plus lunch and breakfast. That's included. And that was 800 Canadians.
A month.
A month. Like food, internet, like everything is included. Plus you'll get food. You need to get your lunch because I was going to school, so I was like obviously not at home, but that was pretty good, especially like for example this woman, she was like cooking perfectly because originally she was from Serbia.
Oh.
So yeah, after my 2 months expired, when I paid for 2 months, then I made a deal with her without like the agency, because that was through the agency. This is how I found the homestay.
Yeah.
And then I made a deal with her that I stay at her place and I'll just pay her cash.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and that was like much cheaper, and she was living almost downtown. It's like 20 minutes from...
So it's easy commute for you too.
20 minutes from George Brown, so...
Oh, okay.
That's super close,
Yes.
yeah. That was all the reasons. And my parents, during all this time when I was at school and I was here, like, oh my God, that was hard actually. Because my mom, like, go back, you're living as a homeless, and then, you know, like, because you have your family and blah, blah, blah. And that was really tough time to kind of inspire yourself, because you're definitely not in a good position so far. You're like, yeah, you're studying, you don't have a job, and you're like, and I'll tell a little later, when you know that you need to get Canadian experience, and it's hard. Yeah, I'll get to this part later. So when you know, like, you're really, like, screwed. And you need to persuade your mom that you are not. So she's not, like, you know, yelling at you all the time on the phone. And she would cry sometimes on the phone.
I bet, right? At the end of the day, you're away from home.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, like, back home, like, you're, like, you can be, like, a princess. Like, you know, you are, like,
exactly.
you can live... Yeah. In their eyes, like, you can live comfortably. Why are you doing this to yourself?
And I could live comfortably. Like, I had apartment in Belarus. Like, my parents, like, even they're, like, middle class, but they're, like, thought about that right beforehand. So when I was at high school, they were, like, investing in the apartment in the capital, because I'm not even from the capital.
Yeah. So in their minds, like, why did we do all that for you if you weren't even gonna take advantage of all these, and then you're gonna go out of your way to
live in a shitty apartment.
create so much hardship for yourself. Why would you do that? It sounds so, like, in their mind, they're trying to wrap their head around, like, like, why aren't you understanding what we did for you, kind of thing.
And then I actually answered them that question, because like, I know that I wouldn't be able to, kind of use all my potential over there. Because when people are already comfortable with what they're having, they're not using their, like, creativity.
They just cruise along with it. They don't think outside the box. They don't really... There's no urgency to go above and beyond.
And then I think that's why I decided, okay, if I stay there, I'll be, like, average person, going work and going back, and then, like, I'll be a sad person.
No.
And
It's true.
Like, and for some people, that's okay. Like, they're happy with that. Like, it's just me. Like, I wouldn't be happy with that. I would want more. That's the thing.
So, I actually have one follow-up question from what you were saying previously. Yeah. Being the keener that I am, I always, like, even when it comes to traveling, I always like to research ahead of time, prepare. And, like, you obviously did your research. What were certain things that you looked into that you would say helped you, like, get started better? Like, for example, like, the whole the work visa thing, like, you know, how you figured it, like, the not like a loophole, but like how you made arrangements to make it work out. Like, what were some things that you did?
Okay, so that's actually an interesting question, because I feel like I did really good research on, like, finding the college, and then like checking all the paperwork. And that's like mostly I've done by myself. Like, I got a help of the agency. They checked my papers, so, like, I was sure. But, some agencies taking, like, $1,000, and that was agency I paid $100. That's the difference. Because, like, people are getting fooled by the agencies that, like, promise, we will do your paperwork. We will keep contact with the university. Come on, keep contact. It's like one email that university will send you when you're just approved, whatever.
But that's where the value add is, right? Like, hey, realistically, it's like, if you want to come to Canada but you want to be lazy about it, pay us, we'll do it for you. So you basically were saying, like, hey, I want to move to Canada, but I also want to be smarter with my money, so I'll do the heavy lifting on my own. Definitely, and I'll pay the minimum fee for you guys to bridge whatever networks that I normally, within my powers and knowledge, cannot. So that's a good tip. Like, so for a lot of people, it's like, again, money is a tool. Like, if you really want, it's a trade-off. Like, do you want to do more work? No, then pay for
off,
it. Yeah. Right? But what were, okay, so So basically, you did your own research. What
Yeah.
were if I were to, let's just say I'm from China or wherever right now and say I want to move to Canada, like for school, let's just say, what would be the first steps? Like what are things that even come top of mind like to research about?
Yeah, so I think the best thing is just like check the government website. This is like the right information. Don't check the forums. Don't check like people. I don't know. Or another tip is just you want to come to Canada, you can book free consultation with like any immigration lawyer.
Oh.
So like okay, there's a little bit of unbiased thing because I work for immigration advising firm.
Oh, okay.
So they come up with the issue that some people like went to website or forums, read completely wrong information, and they screwed their paperwork, and then they like looking for people who can fix that. So the better way is just, or you're like going to just see government.ca, whatever it's the website, and like check all the information there.
Yeah.
Because this is the only source of truth. Or you like book the consultation. There are a lot of like free immigration like licensed people who can evaluate your case, suggest what to do, etc. And you don't need to pay. Like if you think that they can help you and provide you like really like experience, like provide the experience and then like provide the step-by-step what to do, yes, you can pay money. But in general, after those consultations, you will have the ability like to know step-by-step things that needs to be done.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like I was, or like, I don't know, the issue that I came up with when I was searching for an agency, I was really scared to be scammed.
Oh yeah, everyone is.
And
right?
I had a lot of calls with Canadian representatives, and I felt like it's a real like scam.
They're trying to sell you something.
Exactly. And what I did, so I tried to find people with who they worked before. And that was a very creepy, like was the whole investigation. So I was like searching in all the social media, and then I found a couple people, and I texted them, hey guys, you worked with this agency. What was your experience? What is good? Like, should I do the same? And actually, the feedback wasn't great. So I did, yeah. So like, I really was asking like for referrals.
That's smart though. A lot of people don't do that. Like a lot of some, like again, it comes back to laziness and like whether or not it's about immigration or like when like in our channel we talk about finance and stuff. It's whether or not you're willing to take that one step beyond to just do some like a gut check, do your due diligence, like. Yeah, like a sales pitch sounds great, like, but does it make sense? Like, check for referrals. Like, that's just one. Referrals. Like you said, it's just one text away to find out.
Or find people on Instagram who are already in Canada and ask how they came there. That a lot of people like texted me like, hey, you studied in George Brown. What did you do? And like, I'm actually answering to all of them. If they're asking relevant questions, like if they ask what language people speak in Canada and I had those questions, I'm getting pissed. Because like, dude, Google, like...
Do people actually message you that?
Yes, and I posted that on my stories
because
did you? I was pissed because like, what the fuck? They're like, sorry, you can cut that.
Our director is going to do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, because like, why I'm really mad because when I see that people made their research and they ask me questions, I'm happy to help because there are a lot of caveats that they don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to share that. Then that's why like, or I'm sending them like the link to my post where like I was writing about like specific, like when I was like showing this case, like
you're giving your tools and like research to help them.
Yeah, but like if they ask me like, okay, what language or what else could be like, what money, like what currency, and I'm like, oh my god.
So they're just flat out lazy.
Yes.
They could have typed that question to Google, but for some reason they typed it to you.
Exactly.
They were probably just trying to start a chat with you.
No way. It was like it was girls sometimes as well. It's not only guys, It's not only...
You don't know what their preferences are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just assume something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, but I actually have a bigger question to ask you. So again, our channel here is all about finance and stuff. So I'm gonna want to ask you something. After you landed, what was your financial experience like? Meaning, like for example, like for me when I worked at as a financial advisor at the bank, a lot of newcomers are coming to Canada. One thing that was a big shock to them is the fact that they need to get credit.
Yeah.
And back in their home country, they're used to using cash, using digital apps to pay for everything. Credit doesn't exist, or like credit is frowned upon because, for example, I know in the Indian culture, if you were to be using credit, it's some ways shameful. Why are you borrowing money to make ways for your life? But in Canada, using credit isn't something shameful. Building credit is to build credibility, to be smarter with your money.
Yeah.
So how was it for you?
To
rent something, right? So like, was that in any way a culture shock to you? Like, I don't know what how it's like back in Belarus, but like building credit, like getting a bank account, getting all your financial setup. Like, what was your experience like?
To be super candid, I was completely uneducated about banking system.
That's okay.
About finance, and as I said, I did my research when I was preparing the paperwork, but I didn't do my research when like about the live in Canada, about credit cards, nothing. Like I didn't do any of that. I was like, okay, I'll go there, I'll figure it out. And I came with cash on me. I didn't have even any credit cards.
Cash as in converted Canadian cash?
No, US cash.
Oh,
interesting that Russia, like Ukraine, Eastern Europe, everything in cash. And I think, okay, Russia is more like rubles. They use rubles, but like Ukraine, Belarus, we would say everything in dollars.
But when you say dollars, you say US dollars.
US dollars.
Oh, okay, so that's actually interesting. That means you get dinged twice in converting because you got to basically convert into US dollars first, bring US dollars to Canada, and reconvert again. But
like interesting thing that I think most of the people in Belarus, they keep cash. If they keep cash, they convert their salary in US dollars, and if they keep it in US because. The US dollar is like so high in comparison to other currencies.
Fair.
So that's like kind of like a safety buffer for everyone. Because if the currency is not stable and that the economy in Belarus and let's say Ukraine and Russia, it's not stable at all. At least people have US currency. Like
you can't go wrong with the US dollar.
Exactly. So that's what happened with me.
Okay.
And when I came to Canada, I didn't. Also, we don't really have like credit, you know, like I didn't have it in a card.
Oh.
So I did have a debit card, but mostly was cash.
Oh, okay.
So, and then like, I didn't know that I need to build a credit history to be able to rent a room or rent like an apartment.
Oh, true. You actually need credit to rent.
Exactly. Yeah. So like. And people don't know that. I didn't know about that at all. And like, do you know how I selected my bank? That was like, okay, blue, green, and then red.
No names will be named here, but we know by color.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, okay, so what I asked actually my host where I was living.
The stay home.
Like homestay, yeah. I was like, okay, so what is the best bank? Like where I should go? And she's like, I know the banks are good. Like you can select anyone. I'm like, okay. The closest ATM near my George Brown College is
that bank,
and that's where I went.
Oh,
very smart decision.
No, but like actually, so
that's like I was asking other students like what banks like what do you choose and why, like what is better for the students. So like I asked all the questions. I actually googled all the questions. I didn't find the answer on that. I'm like, okay, so I didn't find the answer, so I'll go to like any bank.
No, that's true though, because to give you a little background is that for me, I'm actually doing a lot of like research on like newcomers to Canada right now, because that's kind of it's like a side passion project. And one thing I found out is that a lot of people don't even think about banking or finances until they get to Canada. And one of the primary reasons why they choose the bank is seriously convenience. Because this is how the journey comes. Day one, they land in Canada.
Yeah.
They figure out where they're gonna stay first, so they stay. Day 2 to 3, go to the immigration office, get your SIN card, get your stuff sorted out, and then also get your cell phone and get your communication. Make sure you can reach and call for help if anything happens. Or at the same time, choose a bank. But between day 2, 3, and 4, it's okay. I got my paperwork done now. I need a bank account now, and whichever is closest around or most convenient. So you either choose closest around the immigration office, closest to home, or closest to work, school, what have you.
Yeah. That was my...
So it's always location is actually the biggest reason why people choose like whichever bank or financial services they use.
Yeah, or like I was like thinking back. Now I'm working at the bank, and I think if the college or like would educate me, for example, if I would see a brochure or like a little article somewhere, then like would be a textbook or whatever, or like a student community or whatever they have them. If for like, and they actually very helpful. They educate, you need to do this to get insurance, blah blah blah. So if they would cover the banking system, like give me an advice, you can go to this bank or that bank, that would be like a good start for students, especially for international students, because I think every college, they do have international students department, I don't know how it's called, but if I would go there and I would see, I don't know, BIMA brochure, I would like, okay, like I would read the information, there's a student program, or like if you're a newcomer, you can get this and that. I would like, okay, nice. Like they provide me the information, I would go there, like location wise. Like,
yeah.
So I think that's maybe a gap, because I don't know.
I would, see, again, like goes back to like where my research is, like by the time they're at school already, they probably already have a bank account that they chose.
I created my bank account in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I wanted to make, I didn't do my research beforehand. I didn't go digital.
Gotcha. You kind of like you said, I'll figure it out when I get.
I'll figure it out, and I think a lot of people, I'll figure it out. Not a lot, but like.
Because amongst all the paperwork, all you gotta do, like what's urgent, right? So like, if bank accounts, I can solve for it later. I'll just postpone it. Let me get all the stuff that. There's a lot of uncertainty. I gotta make sure this is all get approved.
Exactly.
Why do I need to worry about bank account if I don't even make it into Canada first?
Yeah. That was my thoughts behind.
Okay, so clearly there are some gaps as to how banks in general can probably educate or be at the right time to tell their story to international students or newcomers to Canada. But until they get there, this is what this channel is for. We'll answer all those questions. Maybe we'll need to bring you back again to answer a lot of questions. Maybe instead of using your Instagram, people can now ask through this comment section, and then you can just do one video and answer it all. So in the future, anyone that wants to ask you questions, like just go to this YouTube video. It'll answer everything you need.
Yeah.
We'll even time it at 0.24 seconds. It'll answer this question.
Question is here. Yeah. No.
Question and answer is here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back to. Okay, so we know that there's choosing a bank. It's kind of like your landlady said too. It's a lot of them are all of them are good. They all provide services that are very similar. If you, like at that point in time, telling you what investments are better or what interest rates better, like you don't really care about that. You just want to get something that works, make sure it's available and accessible, and that's it.
Yeah.
But how about the credit part? Like you said, you just came here. You didn't think about credit, but you need credit to rent. So how did you overcome that barrier? How did you even get there?
So that was actually really hard to open the credit card. So first I created the debit card, and they didn't open the credit card at the very beginning for me, because I guess it wasn't secure for them. So I think I opened the credit card in 5 months only. Yeah, so because I was, I didn't push it hard, because I already was renting a room, and I was paying cash, and everything was fine. So I didn't have this need, to get the credit card right away. So in 5 months, I came to the bank again, and I'm like, okay, I need a credit card, because I'm going to move on, I need to rent a room, so I need a credit card. What you can give it, what you can provide me, what you can offer. So that was okay, if you give me $500 of security deposit, we'll give you a credit card with $500. So you can pay the limit $500. I'm like, are you seriously, guys? I spend $500, let's say in a week, in 2 weeks. So it's not the credit card I want. How can I increase the credit limit? So they put me in all this 3 weeks investigation and then consideration time, whatever. So I was able to push it hard to 1,500, but with that, again, terms and conditions that you will put a security deposit there. So this money, $1,500, will be frozen on my account. And actually, I still have this credit card.
Wait. So just to get it right, because I think a lot of people might not understand this concept. So for a lot of newcomers, when they come to apply for a credit card, if you don't have a credit basis, banks can actually offer putting a secure deposit in order to lend you money. But it's it's a one-to-one basis. The more credit you want, the more money you need to put as a security deposit.
And it's not, you know.
But that's very hard for you too, because like as you said, you're a student, you're working, like 1,500 being
just
stuck
frozen.
and frozen is really hard.
Yes, you can use them. I know, and actually, I went back when I already got my work permit and I had a job. I asked, can you unfroze this money? Can I use them? Can I go to another credit card? And they declined me because I wasn't a permanent resident. Even though I had a year work permit and
income
and everything. I even wasn't I didn't want to go to another card. I knew that I wouldn't be approved, right? That's a simple credit card, no offers, nothing. It's just I'm not sure, just a regular credit card.
Yeah.
So they wasn't able to move me. And one more reason for that, because I was spending money on the credit card and my spend was really high because I had such a small credit limit. So $1,500, you buy something and you already spend $1,000, and that's for them. It's a high qualifier that you're all the time
you're always a high spender on your card. You're high risk then.
High risk then, even though comparing to
but you're spending what you need for your life spending, groceries and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was the issue on my for me. And I think the good thing that one bank where we were working, I saw that they provide now an opportunity for people to get a credit card without the security deposit. And I think this is one of the only banks in Canada.
Maybe. I think a few banks now are switching to that program.
Maybe.
But again, to your point, it's high risk to the bank, because banks find that if we start giving out unsecured cards, will there be fraud? Will there be people that abuse this?
Yeah.
The banks still need to protect themselves. I mean, I'm biased because I guess I work for a bank. I know what the considerations are.
Yeah.
But actually, so this is a financial advisor of me talking now. So the problem that you just talked about, saying if I have 1,500 limit, I'm always considered to be a high spender because it's not that high of a limit. But then in order to make my livings, I need to spend majority of limit. My question for you is, are you paying it off frequently though?
Yeah, I did. I think a couple times I forgot. It wasn't I didn't pay off. I paid off on time, but I wasn't paying off frequently.
Yes.
And that's again, that was a gap of my education. Because I didn't have a credit card back home, so I didn't know that I need to pay spend, pay. I was okay, I'll spend. I have money. I'll cover that.
You'll pay when the statement comes.
That's what I was doing. And then my credit score went up. And actually, let's be candid, I didn't know what the credit score means at the beginning.
True.
So I'm credit score, what's that? And then when I started to search for an apartment, I'm okay, credit score, I need to find a credit score. And I need to pay for credit score, oh my god. And then
everything comes with a price tag in Canada.
I know.
Unfortunately.
I know. So luckily I know the free platforms where you can get the credit score just signing in.
So actually to summarize and reinforce that point, because that's actually what I told my clients back then. I'm I know 500, 1,000, that limit is very low.
Yeah.
But if you show that you are frequently paying back, that actually gives the bank from the back end reassurance that, hey, this customer, although they may borrow a high limit, they pay back frequently. That's how you build up a credit score. Again, that might not be 100% scientifically accurate. But to me, in one of our previous videos, I told Alex, I said, hey, if Alina is a credit card user, she pays her credit card once a month, what she sees on her balance. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
you're following. You're still paying. You're following the rules, and you're paying it by the due date.
Yeah.
But looking at it from a 1 year span, in 12 months, you make 12 on-time payments. But if you were to pay, spend, on an annual basis, you are more likely and more frequently paying off your debt. From a bank perspective, I can just see it as, hey, this person more likely to pay them off. We don't have to worry about him or her racking up debt. So that's actually a tip that I give to a lot of my newcomers. If you really want to expedite the process of building credit, don't wait till your balance, your statement comes. Pay more frequently.
That's a good tip.
But for you, like you said, this is a concept that was not even it wasn't even within your radar, because back home credit was not a thing. So you just followed the rules as you were told. No one's gonna go out of the way and be you should pay more frequently. And plus, not everyone has that luxury. Like you said, you were a student too. So it's like you can be like, yeah, man, that sounds like a great idea, but I don't have the money to pay it off. What about that? That I can only wait till my paycheck comes at the end of the month, let's just say. So, but that's the only tip I can leave. Like, you know, within your ability, if you can pay and reduce your credit card as frequently as possible, that will, I think, at least help your credit. At the very least, within a shorter period of time, you can maybe get the card unsecured. So just a question, now that you got your PR and everything, your card is unsecured now, right?
Not yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I got my PR approved, but I still need to get like this London paper to go to the bank and show it to them.
Okay. Okay, so no, that's actually really good information too, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, like you're telling me from a very humble perspective, saying like, hey, I'm a working student, I just got a job, I'm full, you know, I've been in Canada for 3 years, I've got my PR.
Yeah.
But I still can't get my, like, you know, all these things. This is good. Like, this is a good wake-up call for a lot of people, too. A lot of people maybe in more privileged positions just like, yo, I got, like, $500,000 in cash sitting in my account. Why can't I get, like, a secured credit?
Yeah.
It's not just about having wealth. Like, it doesn't matter if your income, wealth, or anything.
Actually, yeah,
credit.
I was like, okay, I'll collect all this money because like I came with cash, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have like $3,000. I'll put it on my account. Can I get like a more credit limit? And they're like, no, you're a student. You don't have a job. You're paying rent, and your rent equals like this amount. You can't do that.
That's good to know, though. Like, again,
So,
we're not here to change
matter.
the bank system. Like,
Right,
we
that's right.
know.
It's just like something to consider. Don't expect like to have, I don't know, a credit card with like 5,000 credit limit. If you're like a student, you don't have a job and you don't have this and that. So I don't know.
And this goes back to our topic about the 5 C's. It's not just about one element. It's not just about having a lot of capital. A lot of elements come into play to whether or not a bank feels comfortable to lend you money. So if you don't know what the 5 C's are, we already uploaded another video. Go check it out. But no, you know what? This is really good. I think this was a lot of information for a lot of newcomers. Let's leave it at this point today, because I think what I want to see is hopefully a lot of newcomers, like a community of newcomers from different backgrounds. I want to get them exposed to this video and get them start thinking. And if there are more questions, I want them to flood the comment section with more questions, and then maybe redo a different video to answer all those questions, like a Q&A video instead.
Hey guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. And if you are, please press like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. If you're interested in my Instagram channel, you can find the link below. It's Alina Lifestyle. I talk a lot about immigration, and I do live streams every Sunday at 12:30. Thank you so much. Mwah.